Welcome to Sports JaM!
Everybody get up, it's time for sports now. We got a real show going down. Welcome to the Sports JaM. It's your chance, talking rant. It's the Sports JaM. All right. Hey man, you can't get any better than that.
All right, welcome to the Sports JaM. I'm your host, Joe O'Rourke.
I'm Sam Cepeda.
Sam Cepeda filling in for Mike Zajac. Well, Sam's always here. He's just not in his corner anymore.
I'm usually in the corner, yeah.
Usually he's set off into the corner. Mike is on vacation right now. He'll be back Wednesday, so Sam will be with me again tomorrow.
It's a pleasure.
Sam, why don't you remind the people who you are, where you're from?
Well, my name's Sam Cepeda. I'm from Griffith, Indiana. I go to Bishop Knoll. I'm going to be a junior, and I play baseball. I played basketball last year, and I swim and I run cross country.
And you like the Lakers, the Yankees, Notre Dame, though.
Notre Dame.
There we go, Notre Dame.
Future school, hopefully.
Yep. Today is Monday, July 1st. All the way in July already. The summer has not been very...
Halfway over.
This has been an irregular summer, I would say.
Really?
Yeah. Has it been real hot all summer?
It has.
Have we had way more rain than normal?
Yeah, it seems like it's been raining every day. Like, every day I have a baseball game, it seems like, oh, this looks fine, and then torrential rain just out of nowhere.
Yeah, right. And we had some real humid days, and then it's cooled off. It's in the 60s or 70s today. It's actually feeling not too bad today.
Well, that's the region weather for you.
Yeah. So I am Joe Rourke. I graduated from Lake Central. Big White Sox fan, as you can see by my shirt today. Big Cowboys fan. I'm a St. Louis Rams fan, but it's kind of hard to stick with them because they're so bad right now.
Yeah, they're pretty awful.
And Notre Dame fan, obviously huge Blackhawks fan. And I went to the parade on Friday. I went with my two brothers, Tim and Dan, and my brother's girlfriend and their friends. I think there were about 8 of us. We tried getting there real early to get a spot at Grant Park and Hutchinson Field, right up near the stage where all the players were. We tried taking the 6 o'clock train, but we missed it.
It's pretty early.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so early for me. This show was early for me.
Was there tons of people there, like at the train station?
Yeah, there was actually. But we missed the train by about 20 seconds.
Ooh.
We got to the platform and it pulled out.
Oh.
I put my I don't know if you've ever gone through taking the train to Chicago.
South Shore?
Yeah, exactly. And put my card in. It said, I said where I'm going to Millennium Park, all that stuff, processing, printing, and then it said out of service.
Oh.
Went through all that, probably took me 40 seconds of sitting there waiting for it to print, out of service, ran to the next one, finally got my tickets, got to the platform, gone. And they charged me for it too.
Oh, that's terrible.
So I paid $21 to go to the parade on the train.
Jeez.
So we then went to Hammond, took the 6:30 train. Then we stood in line for about 45 minutes to get into Grant Park. There was a mass amount of people just on the street, just waiting to get in. And I heard once they finally started letting people into Grant Park, it was just like a zombie movie or something. Just people, like the aerial view, you just see people flooding into Grant Park.
Really?
Yeah, they said it was nuts just seeing all these people just running as fast as they can trying to get to the stage, which in Hutchinson Field, which was the south end. People just flooding all over the field to get there. We got there at about 9 to Hutchinson Field, but it was so packed we weren't going to get a very good spot to see the stage. So we decided to actually backtrack and go along the parade route, which came down Columbus. So we eventually got a spot at Columbus and Belleville, and we made camp there and waited till about 11 o'clock is when they came around near us, and we watched them come in, and they went by real fast though.
Really?
Yeah, I swear they're going like 20 miles an hour past us. I snapped some pictures, got a few good ones, but just so many people and so many girls on shoulders in my way.
Really?
Getting a picture.
Trying to see sharp.
Yeah, probably. So, yeah, Columbus and Belleville is where we're at. And that was a decent spot. But then luckily we had a big monitor right there in front of us.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, we had every couple hundred yards there was probably about a 10-foot monitor with some speakers. So we at least got to hear what was going on. And we saw the fireworks in the distance. At the end of the celebration, they lit up some fireworks.
Was there like how many like a couple million there, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think they don't obviously do an exact estimation or an exact number, but they're guessing it was over 2 million, which is what they guessed for the last parade in 2010, which I was also at. I felt like there were more people this year.
As a Blackhawks fan, does this have a different feeling than the last championship?
As far as the parade or just the overall
The overall feeling of it.
Well, Mike and I talked about this last week, and it just kind of feels, I don't know, because since they had just won a couple of years ago, and since they were the best team all year and were kind of expected to win, it was more like, I felt like this championship was more of a relief. Like, oh, they lived up to what they were supposed to be all season long, and they did it like there was no choke. Whereas in 3 years ago, they came in, I think they finished third in the division, made to the playoffs, and won it all. That was more of like a surprise.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, either one I was obviously really happy, but this year felt like more, I guess the expectations were higher, and it was more like, come on, you got to win it. You gotta beat these guys.
See, I think it's pretty cool for me. I mean, I'm not a diehard Blackhawks fan. I mean, I'll root for them because they're a Chicago team.
Or won it all.
Yeah. But, like, I think it's kind of cool for me because the round before they made it to – wasn't it the round before that they came back?
No, that was 2 rounds prior.
2 rounds prior?
Yeah, the Kings series, they were in control the whole time. It was against the Red Wings 2 rounds before where they were down 3-1 in the series.
I think that's what sticks out in my mind as an incredible moment, that it's cool that they won it because they were almost out of the entire playoffs, and they made a huge push.
Yeah, and the fact that they beat the Red Wings in that series, because the Hawks-Red Wings have been a huge rivalry throughout their whole time in the league, and now next year, since they're realigning everyone, Detroit will be in the other conference, so the Hawks and the Wings won't have this great rivalry. So it was really cool to have the last rivalry in the playoffs, unless they meet in the Stanley Cup, the last rivalry in the playoffs to be Hawks to come back from
And the Red
3-1.
Wings aren't a bad team.
Oh, no. I mean, they're getting old. They're going to have to retool, but, yeah, I mean, anytime they play, you can throw the records out the window because it's going to be a good game. Yeah. So yesterday, the Hawks, the NHL draft was yesterday.
Okay.
We'll get to the draft a little bit later in the show, who the Hawks picked and such. But just like in 2010, the Hawks made some trades, and they got rid of some of their staple players. So 2 days after the parade and 6 days after winning it all, they send Boland to Toronto and Michael Frolik to Winnipeg, all exchanged for draft picks. I think they collected 5 draft picks, a couple of them next year, a couple of them this year. They swapped some picks. They threw a pick, I think, to Winnipeg for another one. But not only did they get rid of Boland and Frolik for some picks, which they needed because they lost picks last year when they traded for Oduya, and they lost a pick this year when they traded for Hanzus. They saved nearly $6 million, $5.7 million to be exact, which they then used to immediately re-sign Brian Bickle to a 4-year, $16 million deal. Now, $4 million a year for Brian Bickle is kind of a lot. I'm a little worried because $4 million a year is what he's getting paid to do what he did in the playoffs for the whole length of the contract. But when you think about the fact that Boland made $3.7 million this year and Bickle's making $4 million, if you think about it, we're swapping out Boland for Bickle, and they're making about the same thing, which is huge because Boland was way overpaid.
Could you get a quality replacement for Bickle at a cheaper price?
Not a quality. It would be hard to replace the guy who he was in the playoffs. I mean, to replace what he had done for us the past few years in the regular season, yeah, because he honestly didn't do much for us in the regular season this year and years prior. But he was a monster in the playoffs.
He just came up clutch.
Yeah, so they're paying him to continue what he did in the playoffs for the years to come. I believe he had 9 goals in the regular season in the 41 games, and then he had 9 goals in the playoffs as well, which are obviously high-intensity games. I think they had 23 playoff games, I believe. So, yeah, he stepped up big in the playoffs. So they're paying him to continue that.
So he's like the Jeff Blum kind of the 05 White Sox.
Not really, because Jeff Blum didn't get a big contract right after. But we'll see what happens. I'm hoping that it works out. 4 years is kind of a long time, but we'll see. So in 2010, like I said, when they traded away some players, the Hawks sent Dustin Byfuglien, Ben Eager, Sopel, and Andrew Ladd to Atlanta. Atlanta is now the Winnipeg Jets. So back then they traded 4 players away to Winnipeg. This year, As soon as the draft hits, they trade away Frolik to Winnipeg. Also, in 2010, they traded Chris Versteeg to Toronto, a deal in which Victor Stahlberg came back. This year, they trade Bolin to Toronto. So it seems that whenever Stan Bowman wins a championship, has to dump some players, he's calling up Toronto, he's calling up Winnipeg, saying, hey, you want some guys? It seems like they're taking our players off our hands for some salary relief. So it's kind of interesting that most of the players we've gotten rid of the past couple of years have all gone to those two cities. And I wish them good luck. I'm sad to see Frolik go. Michael Frolik was he was great in the penalty kill. Him and Kruger were just amazing, and they did some really good things. Both of them were role players. They weren't necessarily anyone who was going to take over the game, but they're really nice players to have, and they didn't make too much money. I think Frolik made $2 million. I'm totally fine with Bolin going. Like I said, $3.7 million. Kind of a lot for him because he doesn't do a whole lot. He's always in there for shorthanded goals, but he's not producing worth $3.7 million. And like I said, I'm happy, but I'm cautious about the Brian Bickle deal. I'm thinking $4 million is what he should get paid if he continues what he did in the playoffs, but we don't know if that's going to happen. So we'll just kind of see how that works out, and hopefully he'll pick up right where he left off. And next season we'll be talking about another championship,
Sounds good to me.
back to back, hopefully. So we're gonna take a break real quick. We'll come back and we'll talk some the Hawk draft, who they took, who the Bulls took, and what Indiana Hoosiers went and where they went. And then we'll talk a little Cubs, Sox, and some headlines with Sam, all coming up on the Sports Jam on WJOB AM 1230.
The car business is like any other business. You built up a good reputation. You try to maintain your product the best you can. You try to buy the nicest, the lowest mile product that you can sell in your market. And then you just treat people right after the fact.
Go see Joe at the Auto Store on the corner of Ridge Road and Indianapolis Boulevard in Highland. Call him at 219-838-3900. That's the Auto Store, 838-3900.
I'm not a rocket scientist. I buy a car, I sell a car, I try to treat people right. Stop by the Auto Store.
When you're in the little city by the lake, stop by the Diamond in the Rough, a center lounge and restaurant located at 1312 119th Street in Whiting. Center Lounge is open daily 11 a.m. to 3 a.m. You want specials? How about Taco Tuesdays, wings on Wednesdays, 35 cents a piece, and a full salad bar on Friday Fish Day. You want more specials? Give Center Lounge a call at 659-4080. From burgers to wings, the chicken to fish, Center Lounge in Whiting has it all.
Stop by Luby's for an amazing breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Located in the Menards Plaza in Hammond, Luby's Pancake House is the perfect spot for the whole family. Luby's Pancake House is open from 6 a.m. till 9 p.m. daily and is now offering steaks, chops, ribs, chicken, and fish. Delicious cream pies will have you coming back for more. Seniors receive a 25% discount from 2 to 5 in the afternoon. Go to Luby's at the corner of 165th and Columbia in Hammond and tell them Jed sent you.
All right, welcome back to the Sports Jam. Let's do a little Hawks draft recap. The draft was yesterday. The Hawks had 8 picks. They actually started the day with only 5 picks, but through those trades of Bolin for a leak, they were able to pick up a couple more. Their first pick, number 30 overall, Ryan Hartman, out of Northbrook, Illinois, a 5'11" right winger. He is a lifetime Hawks fan. There's pictures floating around the internet right now of him wearing his Hawks stuff from when he was a kid. His draft bio says his favorite team was the Blackhawks. Favorite player is Taze. So it's pretty cool that you grow up loving a team your whole life, living near them in the area, and then they draft you.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that is.
You want that kind of player in your team because has that soul and fire already.
Yeah,
love for your team.
You know he's gonna love this team, and it's cool because I don't know. I just feel like that is just a childhood dream to not only play the sport you want to play, but then for the team that you've grown up
pretty
loving.
Awesome.
That is a pretty awesome story. He was actually ranked as the number one the biggest agitator in the draft, which is obviously we have Andrew Shaw on our team, who is a big agitator in the league, and his player comparison is actually Andrew Shaw as well because of his size and obviously how annoying he is to play against. So if those two guys are in the same line, I'll be real happy to see how other teams react to Shaw and Hartman. on the same line, just annoying the crap out of other teams.
A lot of fights.
Yeah, probably a lot of fights that Bickle or someone else is going to have to fight for them because they're just little guys.
They're a little small.
They're little guys. In the second round, the Hawks took Carl Dahlstrom, 6'3" defenseman out of Sweden. He's a defenseman who is said to be a good puck handler, so that's nice to have some offensive, defensive players. They took in the third round John Hayden, a 6'2" center he was born in Chicago. I believe he grew up in Connecticut. His player comparison is Scott Hartnell of the Philadelphia Flyers, which would be awesome if that happened, but we'll see. Fourth round, they took Robin Norell, a 5'11" D-man from Sweden. Fourth round, Tyler Mott, only 5'9". He is a center, and he's committed to play at Michigan, which is cool. You know in baseball how we said all those players they drafted were committed to a college, and they had to choose either college or the professional team. Well, in hockey, it doesn't work that way. You can be committed to a college, get drafted, sign that contract, and still go to your college and play.
I think that's how it should be, because you can develop more if you're in college and still be your team could kind of watch you and monitor your growth. I think that's really cool.
I mean, if you think about it, they should be able to monitor your growth better if they're in your system, not playing for a college. But it's just cool because in baseball, you have to choose. Do I want that awesome college experience, or do I want to start my major league career when I'm 17?
Like the draft pick the Yankees had this year.
Yeah, exactly. They got to figure out if they want to go to college and have an awesome time, or just go into the minor leagues at 18 years old and start from there. So I like how in the NHL you can sign, go to college for 2, 3, 4 years, whenever, and then go to your team. Or even internationally, these guys who they drafted from Sweden, they can go play in the Swedish leagues for a couple of years if they want, and then go into the Hawks. I mean, it's obviously up to the Hawks when they want to call them up, but yeah, you kind of have a little more freedom, which I think is really neat. Then the Hawks took Luke Johnson in the fifth round, a 5'11" center. He plays for the University of North Dakota. Sixth round, they took Anthony Lewis. Get this. Anthony Lewis is 5'6".
Really?
He's a 5'6" center. That is real short.
Yeah.
That is real short to be a professional athlete. He is from Winfield, Illinois. In the seventh round, Robin Press was the Hawks pick. He's a 6'2" D-man from Sweden. He is considered Mr. Irrelevant, which is a term they mostly use in football, which means he is the very last pick in the draft. But the last not the last one, but Patrick Hornquist of Nashville Predators was also Mr. Irrelevant a few years ago, and he's turned out to have been a really good player.
And he's so good, I actually have heard of him.
He's so good, Sam the intern has heard of Patrick Hornquist. But yeah, that's pretty cool that he was Mr. Relevant and he made it into the pros, and he's a really good player. So hopefully Robin Press can have the same happen to him. All right, the NBA draft was Thursday, right?
Correct.
You did a little preview of that. So what happened? Who did the Bulls take, and what Indiana guys went where?
Well, let's start with the Indiana guys first.
All right.
The second pick in the draft was by the Magic, and they took Victor Oladipo, the shooting guard out of Indiana.
Oladipo.
Who's well considered the best player at Indiana. And at 4, the Bobcats took Cody Zeller. Now, Michael Jordan he usually makes the draft picks for the Bobcats, so it's pretty interesting. Like, his draft picks haven't been too good in the last couple of years. So we're going to see if this Cody Zeller pick turns out. Hopefully it does, but
that was a big surprise, right? Cody
Zeller. It was a really big surprise, especially since Nerlens Noel, the pick that was supposed to be number 1, moved all the way down to 6.
Yeah, wasn't the Indiana guy supposed to go like late?
He was supposed to go like 9.
20s?
He was supposed to go 9 to the Timberwolves.
Oh, 9. Okay. All right, so that wasn't too big of a reach, but still a surprise.
It is a big surprise. And the Bulls' first pick was at 20, and they took a 6'7" small forward, Tony Snell, out of New Mexico. He's an athletic shooter, 39% from 3, so he's a good 3 shooter, and he had 12.5 points per game last year. So he's a pretty decent scorer. He could provide some offense for the Bulls. And but they say the downside, he needs to bulk up in the offseason. He's kind of a wiry. I've seen pictures of him. He's a pretty wiry guy, so he could get beat up down low if he wants to drive or if he wants other scoring opportunities. And he draws comparisons to Kawhi Leonard, who had a really good playoffs for the Spurs. Yeah. So if he could end up like Kawhi Leonard, that'd be really good for the Bulls. And in the second round, the 19th pick of the second round, the Bulls took 6'7" power forward Eric Murphy. Eric Murphy is a three-point specialist from Florida. He has 45.3% from three, but he's not a good rebounder at all. He had 5 rebounds a game, so he's basically, they got him for a spark plug kind of, for if they need like a quick three, if they need some to rejuvenate their offense during a game, that would really help them.
All right, so is that all you got for us in the NBA draft?
Sure is.
All right, cool. All right, we will take a break real quick, and we'll come back and talk some recap of of the Cubs and the Sox this weekend, where they moved in the quest for the worst team in the city and the #1 draft pick for 2014, as well as do some headlines with Sam. All coming up on the Sports JaM WJOB AM 1230. I am Joe Rourke. That is Sam Cepeda behind me, and we are broadcasting from Hammond, Indiana.
Word up.
The region. What's up?
Phil Youngie, 16 years at Corellis Roofing.
Bruce Bailey, 28 years at Corellis Roofing.
Joe Learman, 20 years at Corellis Roofing.
This is Bob Pabst, 23 years at Corellis Roofing.
George Corellis, 52 years at Corellis Roofing.
We at Corellis Roofing are not only striving to be your roofer of choice, but also your employer of choice. Visit us on the web at www.corellisroofing.com.
In my 42 years in the auto repair business, I've pretty much seen it all. For 30 of those years, I've been at the corner of Ridge Road and Burnham Avenue in my own shop in my hometown Lansing. I built a repair center with a dealership feel and the training and high-tech equipment to fix any vehicle without the inflated prices. Call us today at 708-895-9520 and see for yourself that a visit to Unlimited Service is absolutely painless. 708-895-9520. Quality repairs don't have to be costly, but they are priceless.
For a fast and friendly car wash, go to Easy Clean Car Wash. 5 regular washes for only $20. 5 ultimate washes for only $25. Or take advantage of our unlimited wash for only $19.99 per month. 1 ultimate wash per day, every day, a $300 value. It's fast, easy, convenient, safe, soft, and gentle. Free vacuuming, carpet shampooer, air freshener, and towel with every wash. Looking for a perfect gift? Easy Clean Car Wash has gift cards on sale now. For more information and coupons, visit myeasyclean.com or stop by one of our 3 locations, Highland, Cherville, and Lansing.
All right, welcome back to the Sports JaM. That is the Rolling Stones will start me up. So, the Sox and Cubs this weekend. The Sox lost all 4 games this weekend to the Indians. Of course, like I've said many times, I am rooting for losses, but they lose in some of the worst ways. They lost a doubleheader on Friday. They lost 19-10. 19-10 the first game.
Not a good pitching matchup.
The pitchers got rocked. And then they lost 9-8 in the nightcap. They actually had a really good promotion going on where they said excuse me, I was looking at something. Where they said the people who are at the Hawks parade can actually come to the Sox game at 4:10 after the parade is over and get $15 tickets for both games.
Really?
Yeah, which is a real good deal. Obviously, 2 games for $15, but gosh, they would have been there for 8 hours watching the team lose a doubleheader, 19-10, and then 8-9 or 9-8.
The Cubs just find new ways to disappoint.
Yeah, the Cubs actually this weekend they won 2 or 3 games.
Cubs
from
and the
Mariners.
White Sox really both find new ways to disappoint.
Both teams are just having awful seasons.
Terrible.
Thank God for the Hawks.
Yeah,
because otherwise Chicago would be real depressed right now.
Yeah,
in the sports.
Usually the Sox don't do this bad.
Right, but at this point, the Sox have moved up to the 4th pick in the draft. They are now a half game out of the 3rd overall pick next year. And the Cubs actually moved the opposite direction. Since they won 2 or 3 games and they've been doing a little bit better, they now have the 7th pick in the draft. I know they're moving the wrong way.
They are.
Both teams need to get 1 and 2 in the draft.
You got to tank.
Yeah,
this is when you got to tank. There's no reason to win.
That is what I'm screaming. All right. Let's go to some headlines, Sam. What do you got for us?
Well, these headlines are brought to you by Galaxy. Save big on windows and siding remodels from Galaxy. Just $49 installed. Call or visit Galaxy today, 773-783-8300 or galaxyhome.com.
All right.
Well, the headlines for today: point guard Chris Paul and the LA Clippers agreed to a $107 million contract extension. He's been really good for the Clippers the last year, so he's a really good centerpiece for that team with Doc Rivers coming in as the new head coach. This is an interesting story that you pointed out to me. The New England Patriots are offering anyone during the weekend of July 6th through the 7th at the Patriots Pro Shop a jersey swap with anyone that has Aaron Hernandez jerseys with a Patriots jersey of equal value.
Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. Obviously, they want to try and get Hernandez's name off their jerseys.
And you really don't want, if you're a father,
right? You
don't want your little kid walking around with a alleged murderer.
Then again, Ray Lewis has a lot of jerseys going on.
Same with Michael Vick. Michael Vick has jerseys going on.
Yeah, a little different crime, but yeah.
And O.J. Simpson. Do you want your kid with O.J. Simpson jersey?
Have you seen one in a while?
No, I haven't.
All right, then. Maybe, yeah, and I'm also seeing that Hernandez jerseys are going for hundreds of dollars online in auctions because there are sick people out there who are just dying to get a Hernandez jersey because I'm sure they stopped selling them. I'm sure the Patriots don't
they're
sell
probably
them
worth
anymore.
a lot.
So people are dying to get them just so they can walk around and look like a jerk with, oh, look at me, I'm a murderer on my back.
Yeah. Typical.
Sick people. All right, what else you got?
Well, MLB Power Rankings have come out, and, you think of some teams in the last couple of years that have been number one in the Power Rankings. My Yankees. You had the Phillies a couple of years ago. Well, how about the Pirates? How does that sound as the top of the Power Rankings?
That is surprising.
They're 51-30, and they have the best record in baseball.
That is incredible. They may actually finish above 500 this year, and if they do, it'll be the first time since 1992, 21 years, since they have finished above 500.
They will have to seriously tank, record tanking.
Yeah, in that 1992 season, they had Barry Bonds on the team, so obviously that's going to help when you got one of the greatest hitters we've ever seen.
That was when he wasn't juicing, right?
That was probably pre-juice when he was good on his own skill.
Cubs are at 25. White Sox are at 26. How does it make you feel to be below the Cubs?
That doesn't matter. I don't really concern myself with them and where we are in relation. As long as we get the number one pick. As far as power rankings, it's kind of irrelevant to me.
Martin Brodeur, legendary goalie for the New Jersey Devils, announces the pick of his son, Anthony Brodeur, with the 208th pick of the draft. What do you think about that?
There were 211 picks. The Hawks picked Robin Press with their 211th pick, the very last pick in the draft. So at 208, and it being Brodeur's son, and obviously Brodeur being the great Devils goalie, they just did it just because it was his son.
Just like Ozzy.
Yeah, just like when Ozzy Guillen drafted his son. I don't remember if it was Osney or Oni or whichever one of them, but yeah, they do that. They do that in baseball a lot more because you have 40 rounds, so you can waste a pick towards the end. But yeah, that's totally what the Devils did there. They just burned a pick on his son. Just
do you think he might actually be good though? I mean, he's got his dad teaching him.
He's definitely got it in his blood. He's got a great coach in his dad to help him. I mean, sure, it'd actually be a really cool story if he did make it eventually. But
could be kind of a Ken Griffey Jr., Griffey Sr. story.
Because Ken Griffey Jr. coming up
was
actually.
I know what you're saying, but could potentially Anthony Brodeur and Martin Brodeur, same team.
What, play together?
Yeah.
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. But they could definitely maybe Brodeur becomes a coach one day or becomes the GM of the team or in some way, works for the team and then his son plays. Either way, it's a really cool story.
That would be really cool.
That he got to announce the pick of his
potential
son
E60
for his team. Yeah, maybe the E60 story eventually. Brodeur was also named to the cover of NHL 14.
Really?
So that's pretty cool. So he's having a pretty good week. He gets to announce his son being drafted by his team, and then he gets to be on the cover of NHL 14. It was a fan vote, so obviously everyone loves Marty Brodeur.
In baseball news, Michael Kadire, outfielder for the Colorado Rockies, is on a 27-game hit streak. He is a game shy of being halfway to Joe DiMaggio's 56-game hit streak record, which is pretty amazing if he gets anywhere close to that.
What's your prediction? How long do you think he's going?
I think they'll go another 11 games.
Okay, so you're saying 38?
Yeah, there's no way.
38 would be a lot, actually.
Yeah.
What did I can't remember what Jimmy Rollins got. I think think he got pretty far.
Yeah, he got really close.
In maybe 2007 or something.
When he was MVP, I think.
Yeah, 06, 07, 08, one of those years. I think he was around 40. I think he was close to 40.
I just don't think
nobody's ever going to beat 56.
That's one of those records that you're just never going to beat. Like Pete Rose's hit record.
Right, yeah.
Never going to break it.
Yeah, it's not happening. But, I mean, I hope it happens. That would be cool to be able to see that, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. And the Orioles first baseman Chris Davis hit a home run yesterday, which means he has 31 home runs for the year. And he had 33 all of last year. Juicing?
I don't think so. But I did see something funny on Deadspin today. Somebody actually tweeted him and said, "Hey, man, are you juicing?" And he actually replied to the guy, and he just said no. That's all. Just no, period. So, I mean, not that he would ever say on Twitter that he's juicing.
He's going to say, yeah, I'm juicing.
But I thought it was funny that he actually responded to someone's question on Twitter, if just some random Meathead fan, and he actually responded to them. I thought that was pretty cool. He's a freak. He kind of came on, kind of like Jose Bautista, just out of nowhere, just started bashing home runs. And now, yeah, him and Miguel Cabrera are having historic seasons. And Manny Machado, his teammate, like I talked about a week or two ago.
Gonna break the doubles record.
Yeah, doubles record. He's on pace. I think he hit his 39th double yesterday, or 38th double. I mean,
yeah, he played the Yankees yesterday. He had a ridiculous game.
He's on pace to crush the doubles record. And
he's insane.
Yeah, it's a real good year to watch the Orioles. I think they're gonna. I'm rooting for them.
If they could get an extra pitcher at the trade deadline.
Yeah, I'm hoping they go after Jake Peavy maybe for the Sox, or take
Garza
or Matt Garza. Yeah, I think they'll pick up somebody, and I hope they do the best, because I'm pulling for them, because obviously I don't have the Sox to root for right now, or the Cubs. You still have the Yankees.
I do, but they're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah,
they don't have enough for the playoff push.
Division's way too good. They're not going anywhere. All right, so that was the Sports Jam.
I'd like to give a shout out to my grandmother and my mother for listening to me today.
Oh, that is sweet.
Thank you.
Grandma Cepeda?
Grandma Politis, actually. It's on my mom's side.
All right. So that's going to do it. It was July 1st. We'll be back tomorrow, Sam and I, once again. Wednesday, Mike will be back. I will be gone Thursday and Friday. Live remote today at Crazy Kaplan's 4 to 6. So make sure you check that out. Peace.
Peace.